Baby cupcakes, welcome to you. I have something cool to show you today. You see, friends, have a look at this. So everyone's going to tell you that you're still early to Bitcoin, and it's relative. So if you're a stock market coper, yeah, you still got a chance to make it in less than 35 years, which is what you need to retire in the stock market while you lose your purchasing power every day as they print money and keep screwing up the system. Sure. But for everybody in crypto, we know what we're really here for, and that's sick gains, friends. Of course, I'm going to pump some music for you too. You know, XRP went 500x in 2017. Shiba Inu literally did 1.3 million x low to the high in 12 months, mind you. You have so many other opportunities. I mean, Hex did a 10,000x from that low to that high. You have all these opportunities that just went here. Doge did a 220x. Elon Musk started shilling it. So we say all these numbers, but we all know the rate at which those numbers, as a whole market, the rate at which those numbers are possible, they're dwindling. And we know that. There's too many hands and mouths to feed. There are too many scammers and grifters now. They keep minting new tokens. So when there's demand for something, people will quickly latch onto it now because everyone knows they figured it out, right? Digital cyberspace. It comes with the meme coins or utility. They copy paste open source. And then you know what? Even if you do things the right way, like cow swap, even if you do things the right way, fake DeFi Uniswap just literally steals that part of your code into Uniswap v4 and now it's gone. Now the Uniswap's got the bigger network effect. So they just absorb your market share. So it's a tough game. It's very fierce. It's very ferocious. But it's all about who you're investing with. Who is next to you? Are they strong or are they weak? What side are they on? Okay, so when I hear something like this, buying Bitcoin is like buying the internet in 1990. I can't help but think, sure, that's exactly what you want to hear after 15 years of up only, after Michael Chad Saylor is onside finally in his leveraged degen trade, after El Salvador adopts it, after Elon Musk already bought it and then dumped it. After all of these, after Roca Negra finally ushers in the government to allow mums and dads to finally purchase Bitcoin, sure, that's what you want to be told. That's what I believed back in 2019. Interesting part. Whether or not it was true or not, it didn't really matter. Because when I was buying, it was off weak hands. I didn't know how high the magnitude of the move would go. No one did, okay? Only very, very few people guessed it correctly, okay? So at the end of the day, what happened in 2022? Sure, there were weak hands buying. Problem. People in 2019 and 2018 bear market for crypto, the last previous bear market, when they sold, nobody sold Bitcoin at $6,543,000 because they said, hey, I really believe in the industry. I'm going to get rid of it now. Let me go buy back in at $1,000. They didn't do that. They sold it to peanut brains like me because they genuinely believed the whole industry was worth zero and it was a full-on Ponzi piece of trash scam. That is a stark contrast difference compared to what we just experienced in our bear market now. No one was selling Bitcoin, the big daddy, with the intention to leave forever. No one. They were selling it. Why? Because they just believed it was going to go to 10K and then they can buy back in and then they can dump it on the rest of us later. If you are new to crypto, if you're new to investing, welcome. Take a seat over there. Please keep your back straight. I'm going to tell you something right now. You don't want to hear that. You don't want to be buying from people when their state of mind is that they're secretly bullish and they just want to game you out in a better price. That means the euphoria waves are getting smaller. That means the emotional money potential is less. You don't want that. You know why? Because those people who sold it to me in 2019 at the lows, 3,200 Bitcoin when I was buying like a madman, those people who sold it to me, they left completely. They returned after Bitcoin broke 20K again 2 years later. That's when they came back. They came back to buy the tops, buy everything, and cheer for much higher everywhere else. Now, those same subset of people, they never left. They stayed here. What that means is they're going to buy, but all that emotional money, that powder keg of people, they are not going to enter when Bitcoin's at 80, 90, 100, 150K. They're not there anymore. They're in right now, or they're in the sidelines right now. They're probably going to buy. They're probably buying right now. It could be buying $40,000. They might buy the next dip down to 35. Maybe they get shaken out again at 32. Who knows, right? Just throwing out numbers here. They buy at 50K. Okay, so you see this is a difference here. In the previous cycle, those weak hands return as emotional money in a short window of time after Bitcoin breaks the high. But now, they're not coming back. Okay, they're already here. That acts as gravity. Okay, so when I see these types of sentences, like, you know, oh, it's like buying it in the 1990s, that makes you very skeptical, makes me very skeptical, because what's 1990s, friends? The NASDAQ went literally up only, did like a 10x that freaking day, or something ridiculous, right? The NASDAQ went absolutely insane. It was just literally up only internet stocks. And so that's what everybody anchors in their mind, right? So you're not early to Bitcoin. You are not, don't even think about it, okay? The Roca Negra ETF is a late thing, but they are still going to tell followers, you're early, you're early, you're early. Guess what? Roger Ver was early. Guess what? Andreas Antonopoulos going and making speeches with literally 2 people in the freaking auditorium. Yes, that's right. 2 people, right? And they looked exactly how you imagine. One of them, just a balding, nerd-looking guy with a checkered shirt and a pen in his front pocket. And the other dude, he's got that long Jesus hair. You know the long Jesus hair guys? They're always at the game card shops. And, you know, probably World of Warcraft, probably got a level 80 warlock somewhere. These types of people were at there, okay? Now, I hope they bought, because they got to bought like 10,000 Bitcoin for like $6 right back then. That's how early it was back then. Now, you don't have just 2 people rocking up, right? You don't. You have Michael Chad Saylor and Max Kaiser yelling to a crowd of people where they literally have a coffin for fiat. Just to let you know, friends. Yes. Coffins are not... It doesn't really mean it's the end, friends. What have I told you? 2 secrets of life in investing, okay? When someone gives you the crown emoji or the trophy emoji, it's actually bearish, because it means you've actually won. The pendulum swung so hard the other way, okay? Opposite is also true. When we plant the coffin emoji and we go, it's dead, it's dead, it's dead, it's usually a buying signal, okay? It's usually a buying signal. So in Bitcoin Miami, it was this year. You want to know what they did? I was posting about it on Twitter. They had caskets, okay? Literally, coffins for fiat. And they're dancing around the death of fiat, the death of fiat. And I'm looking at it, I'm like, man, wouldn't it be cruel and funny if my coffin emoji theory comes out true again, where it turns out that was one of the warning signs that it's the end of the Bitcoin rally type of thing. Okay, now it's not a short-term thing, but it kind of signifies something to you. Okay, so this is where you got to keep your ears perked up and pay attention. Now I want to show this to you right now. So coffin emojis, friends. So, you know, like, no one's calling for the death of Polkadot right now. We were kind of before, so you could even buy that if you really want. Not financial advice, but no one's calling for the death of Matic or BNB or Tron or XRP. No one's saying they're dead. They're just saying they're boring, okay? So there's no opportunity for me, all right? But in Hex, like, people are actually saying Hex, PulseChain, PulseX are dead. Dead, dead, dead. And I think I am dead serious about remaining your friend. So the price of Hex back here was 3 cents. So what happened here back here, okay? Now, this influencer, okay, he's not a friend of the channel. I'll think of another name to call him, okay? So this loser out here, okay, he was just fighting Hex, went on TV. Okay, this guy, I can't even call him a guy, okay? This weirdo, it's so weird. Like, he was just fighting Richard Hart and Hex. And then he got into some like legal troubles. The company that he sent people to invest in went like bankrupt and everyone lost all their money. And I'm just watching this from afar. I was like, there is no way this... Did we actually just see this happen? This dude was literally just spamming, fighting Hex, saying Bitcoin's the way, Bitcoin's the truth, Bitcoin's the light. And then everyone lost their money with you. Like, you literally, the stuff you were telling people that was going to happen with Richard Hart, and he said PulseChain won't launch and it's all a fraud, right? Because back then it said PulseChain won't launch. It's all a complete fraud. He's ran off with the money. Nothing's ever going to happen. And everyone got zeroed from this dude. It's just, how does this universe work like this, friends? It's just, I'm sitting here watching these stories. I'm like, who's writing these stories? Because they're very entertaining, okay? So, look what I even said. The next Terra Luna, okay, major $5 billion could be about to self-destruct, potentially hitting the price of Bitcoin and Ethereum. So all these people, this was right at 3 cents. And then you know what happens next? It went to 12 cents. Now, of course, we know what comes next. Yeah, dips back down, PulseChain launch, blah, blah, blah. You know what happens next. But these are Coffin Emoji equivalents. They're just saying it's dead, it's dead, it's dead. And look, this is when I made this poster to tell you, like, look, they were dancing on the grave when they should have been buying, okay? I'm not saying buy and hold everything forever. I'm not telling you that. I'm just telling you these signals usually call for some sort of bottoming out procedure, okay? And by usually, I mean, we're still yet to see, not really see it even fail yet. I mean, I'm not going to jinx anything, but just, I don't know why, friends. I don't know why. People coming out with enough confidence to put a coffin emoji, for some reason, something happens, okay? So, you know, the price of 3 cents, even Forbes released this article saying it was going to collapse to zero. You know what I mean? Everyone was saying, you know, it's all over. It's all over. That's why Forbes, man. Forbes, is this cryptocurrency going to self-destruct? They wrote like a Forbes article about, is this Hex? Am I reading this right? Because this is a year ago, man, you know? And look, this disciple of the soy, he shared the article, okay? So yes, so actually here it is, right? So this loser here, like Forbes, man. Forbes, the loser journalists saying this is about to self-destruct. Bang, 4x up from that point. And then PulseChain launched. So just thinking about this, friends. Think about what you want, okay? No one's given a coffin emoji to Bitcoin. Think about that one. Not yet, right? Maybe they'll give it to us in the next bear market. Okay, we'll be ready for that one, okay? But they're not giving a coffin emoji to Bitcoin. You get the point, right? So think about this. Just have a deep think about what's going on here. So this is value here. So as he tweeted from his bed of silk and soybeans, he mid-curved himself out of a generational Hex buying opportunity. So yes, of course, the swing goes up, swing goes down, but you got to remember, what are you even here for? I mean, that's, what if it happens again, right? You got the coffin emojis out again. What if this next rally is more fierce and more ferocious? Because like, it really is like a slingshot, elastic band. You've got rid of, and I'm going to show you right now, okay? I'll show you exactly what I mean. So you have, look at these tiny red candles for PulseX, friends, for example. Look, see this tiny little red candle? Okay, but here's the thing, okay? If you're watching my videos, you know, see how there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, now this is really important. What I've noticed is it doesn't even matter the magnitude of the move. What matters is the repetitiveness. It's the beating, the bashing. That's what's harsh and what we can't take. 5 red weekly candles in a row when everything else is going green. That's the thing that kills everyone, right? Even though it's still ranging, So if you remove the story in the news, you look at this, you're like, oh, you're just doing this little range zone down here. You know, you're just going to range sideways before hopefully you continue up. But I just want to remind you, okay, so all these people, this is what I'm doing is just trying to dissect, okay, how aggressive you could be. And forget Hex, forget PulseChain, forget Richard Hart, forget everything. I'm thinking about the next trades, friends. Will we come across opportunities like this in the future? We will, where there's coffin emojis and we're looking at all these things and we're thinking, okay, what are the chances that this thing comes up? And if it does come up, how ferocious could it be, right? And these are the things that impact you. So here I am telling everybody, all right, we held through, Hex going 99% down, Richard Hart not doing any promotion for PulseChain. You held through Hex not being a bear market hedge. Hex went down more than FTT and Celsius. PulseX dropped minus 92% from day one cycle. Like it's literally 2 years and you're still wrecked, right? 2-year anniversary, you're down 88%. All of these and the corrupt SEC attack. So you have all of these and everyone posting this dude twerking and the Louis Vuitton bags. Like they're still posting, friends. What they don't know is they're not silly. They're just, bless their hearts. They don't know what they're doing. They're keeping it alive for us. They don't know, man. This is the best thing you want. Okay. This is literally, oh my God. Like you can't ask for, but it worked. It literally worked. Okay. They are more outraged at the price going down and the Louis Vuitton bags and Richard Hart. Imagine there was none of that. Imagine you were just fizzling out doing nothing. They would be posting nothing. You'd be fading away into irrelevance. Hell, you might even be with like Litecoin, right? out in the real funeral home. So when you're looking at this, I just want you to think that these things, they just take a while to turn the other way because there's a long process of the rinsing of hands. Because, yeah, look, unfortunately, Richard made a lot of people who shouldn't be rich. He made them a lot of rich. He made them way, way, way too rich, way too fast. And with Bitcoin, Satoshi made people rich fast, but not in anywhere near. Like those early tech innovators, they weren't these types of people being flashed. Hey, you want to come and get rich? Come in here. Just, you know, just so happened. It was more of a lottery ticket for the Satoshi guys because they didn't even know it was even possible. But for now, in crypto, with this community, what's happened is a lot of people got rich. And you can tell as well. Don't worry, I'd easily say 98% of them are gone now. Most of them are gone, got no chance. If they come back, friends, there might even be a top signal again. But you can just tell these people, they just ravaged everything. They know what they're doing. They click market, sell lows. And guess what? It's still in their brain. They'll probably come back and buy back later. So you held through all of these things. I'm here telling you, now, after all of that, you see this tiny little red candle. That's the candle where I'm hearing everyone say, give up. I give up. I can't take it anymore. It's abandoned. It's out. We're going to zero. It's just never going to move, right? And I'm like, where were you for the past 2 years, man? When I was like, this is going crap. Where were you, man? You're telling me, you're fighting. Now these people want to give up. No, man, it doesn't work like that, okay? Well, you know, you can work like that. You just don't end up winning in the long run. Yeah, you take enough bets like this, you just don't end up winning. So, you know, I'm just telling you, I'm still holding, right? So nothing's changed. After all of this, right, people finally say they feel abandoned, and I could say it's just time capitulation. And look, you know me, friends, okay? I give some real hard to swallow pills, okay? Really hard to swallow pills. I'm just being completely honest with you. We're not even in the Bitcoin halvening year. We're not, right? Now, what I also find fascinating is there are people, I will show them all these history repeating parts. Just think about this, okay? Bitcoin followed the exact same formula from the top to the bottom. 12 months on the dot. 365 days, FTX collapses. You tell me how the hell that happens then. How are the unicorn fairy dust puppet masters, the simulation riders, how does that happen? Literally 12 months after the top, FTX gets revealed to be a Ponzi when it was a Ponzi the whole time. That's weird, okay? The 4-year cycle is playing exactly on track. Literally exactly on track. I mean, I've even put you the 4-year cycle fractal Ponzi, which is just fascinating. Like, what the hell? Like, look at this, friends. Like, within the same week, we zip up out of the range. We die at the same period. We zip up again. And then look, suddenly within, isn't this wild, friends? Out of this whole cycle, literally within 23 days, we just start zipping up and pumping up again. Like, we're just following everything towards it. It's just so weird. So to continue that, also in the past cycles, Ethereum has been weak in the 4th quarter before the Bitcoin halvening. Don't know why it is what it is. And then, as soon as the Bitcoin halvening year begins, Ethereum shoots up versus Bitcoin. It just starts gaining. It just starts gaining. Okay, I've shown you many charts to show that. Hex started rallying in the Bitcoin halvening year. Okay, it was launched in December 2019. It was actually launched exactly, you know, the year, 4 years or whatever it is today. Okay, however many years, whatever it is. So back then, it fizzled, which is what we are now, and then slowly just started making its way up in the 1st quarter of 2020 and just started going up. You know, now this is what's going to be interesting, friends. Very interesting, right? I think it's pretty widely known. Richard and or secret friends or squirrels bought up Hex at the start to permanently raise the prices and reward everybody. It's just going to be weirdly strange and interesting if it happens again, because it's way more liquidity done. He's not even active anymore. And you're going to look at it, you're like, that's weird. Like, he artificially might have pumped it back then, and now the market is doing it as well. So you might actually see something weird things like this happen all the time. I don't know what it is, friends. We're all interconnected, interconsciousness. I don't know what it is. It's just this, when you see markets and their effective pricing mechanism, you see a lot of weird stuff, like a lot of weird stuff. It just can't be all big coincidences, okay? So that's what I'm here to tell you. Like, you're looking at all these things. Yeah, of course. I even joke. I'm like, yeah, that just sounds like cope. Sounds like cope. But Can I rewind? I'm just going to rewind exactly 13 and 14 months from now. It was literally November 2022. And I was saying, well, 4-year cycle says we still keep going up. And I remember one of the bears, okay, this bear dude, he says, Sommy, that sounds like cope. He says, why will this stupid 4-year cycle work now when you just had an artificial human intervention story with the FTX Ponzi? He goes, that wasn't part of your plan. And I said, you know what you're telling me? I go, you're a bear, you're smelly, you poop in the woods, and you're trying to tell me that this time is different. And he said, no. And I remember he gave me some big essay. I didn't even read it. I'm sorry, man. Like, bro, you can't send me like 14 paragraphs of a reply. Okay, so I didn't read it, but I read a bit of it. So I told him, what you're trying to tell me is that this time is different. And actually, what you're trying to tell me is, despite the 4-year cycle at the time working every single time, now you're telling me it won't work. And I thought, this is just one light switch that went off. I go, this has to be the bottom, man. This has to be the bottom. This bear friend of mine is just, I don't think he's going to get this one right. It just doesn't sound like he's right because everybody's agreeing with him. It must be that it's priced in as much of the sellers as it is right now. And guess what? It was right. So that's why I'm saying, hey, he was saying cope back then. And here we are. People saying cope now. You never really know the future, friends. All you can do is take your bets. I know on average, you keep buying undervalued stuff. You'd be very surprised by how high people push them when they are euphoric. Make sure you like and subscribe. Belly button all. Don't forget to tell mum and dad. Are we in cope mode? Guess we'll find out. Catch you soon.